Hi there, welcome back to the YouTube channel. We're back again with yet another random commander today, and today is Ruhan of the Fomori. Yeah, I was surprised when this one turned up, but it's one red, white and blue for a 7/7 legendary creature giant warrior, and at the beginning of combat on your turn, choose an opponent at random. Ruhan the Fomori attacks this player this combat if able. Yeah, this was a weird one to me. I didn't even realise this existed in Commander 2011, I think it came out. So we're going back a long way now. 13 years ago this card first made an appearance. And I completely forgot it even existed. I'll be honest about it. And then I started to think about how we were going to make this work. And yeah, there were several ways you could go down enchantments on it and so on and so forth. But I decided to do a bit of an atypical thing for this wonderful colour of Jeskai and go down the artifact route. So here we go. Here's what today's deck looks like. Okay, at the beginning, one of the things I will point out is we have a lot of beginning of combat triggers in this deck, which is what I wanted to do with it. So, Loyal Apprentice comes first to give us a Thopter, and then Luminarch Aspirant chucks around +1/+1 counters. We've got a few of the usual equipment cards in here as well that help out with our equipment, so Pure Steel Paladins here. Spellbook Vendor chucks around a sorcery roll, so +1/+1 on a scry when we attack. Saram Senior Edificer is also in as well to give us a bit of card draw. And then Eiger the Freezing Flame. We should be doing excess damage a fair bit with this deck. Therefore, having that ability to draw the card is good fun. Agitator Ant. People do like putting some +1/+1 counters on their creatures. And, if they get goaded, fine by me. I'll live with that entirely. Akiri, the Fearless Voyager, is also in as well. Gives a card draw when we attack with a quick creature, and then we can make it a creature indestructible if we need to. Brass Squire lets us just attach the equipment you control to a target creature you control at any time. Bear that in mind. You can do this at instant speed. It's not a sorcery speed only thing. Daneth, one of the usual creatures that you see in equipment decks, is also here. Cut the costs down. First strike, vigilance, lifelink, you know the score. Loyal Drake gives us the card draw if we've got Ruhan in play. Reckless Stormseeker is what we want to aim for on turn 3 though. This on turn 3 with Ruhan on turn 4 means Ruhan starts to go in for 8 damage straight away. Gives people a bit of a headache. Siege Veteran, there's not many soldiers in the deck at all, but the extra +1/+1 is fine by me. Vesuvian Drifter is also fun. We've got quite a few creatures in the deck, as you can tell. There's 30 in here. So the chances are we might get one on top of our library and then get this going and have this as a copy of that one that we need. Alorial, the Exemplar of Justice, is really nice for Ruhan. +2 if it's and gains trample if it's red, and white and vigilance if it's white, which Ruhan is. So maybe going in as a 9/7 with trample and vigilance isn't the worst plan in the world. Brunel Battlehammer comes over from the Forgotten Realms set to make sure we can cost 0 to equip each turn for the first time. Calamity Bearer lets us double up the damage from our giants, which Ruhan is up the top here, you can see. So that helps. Loyal Unicorn gives him vigilance along with all our other creatures. Siege Gang Lieutenant gives us some gobos to chuck around if we need to. Arthur, the Marigold Knight, lets us find a creature card from the top of our library, put it into play, taps and attacking, and then bounce it back to our hand at the end of combat. Balor is lovely. Attacks or dies, choose a different player. They get a super rummage, super loot, where they draw 3, discard 3, or sack a non-token artifact, or deal damage equal to the number of cards in their hand. Can't complain about that for 5 mana at 5/5 Flying Demon. Quakebringer helps us out, gives us some extra ways of stopping our opponents gaining life, and then as long as this is in play, we deal 2 damage in our upkeep, or if it's in the graveyard and Ruhan's in play, we still do the 2 damage. So yeah, nice giant berserker coming in from Kaldheim. Zutru, the Fiery Johan, is also in. Whenever you cast a historic spell, Zutru deals 3 damage to any target, so hit that lightning bolt for 5 mana. I'm thinking about doing Zutru in the new year at some stage as its own standalone deck, so I think this has got legs in it from Assassin's Creed, and I haven't really looked at it. The Duke Ulder Raven Guard, at beginning of combat on your turn, another target creature you control gains haste. Yeah, okay then. I'll quite happily let them gain haste, and then sacrifice them at the end of turn. Well, you exile it, but hey hum. Furbolg Flutus gives us a way of getting a creature, nicking it for a turn, and giving it Myriad as well, so we can nick the biggest creature our opponents have got and hopefully get some benefit. The Titans are in, so Frost Titan, Inferno Titan are here along with Sun Titan. No point talking about them. And then we have Morag, Fury of Akum. Just remember to play your lands on your second main phase, so you get that additional attack step. I forget sometimes when I'm playing this card, but you have to play it right to make it work. Realm Cloak Giant is our first bit of, well, another big giant, 7/7 for 7 mana with Vigilance, but Cast Off isn't a bad one to have as a backup plan as the adventure to get rid of everything else. We do have a little bit of board control with Chain Reaction and Blasphemous Act, and then we also have Call Forth the Tempest, because I like Cascading and 8 mana. Yes, it's tough to cast with triple red and 5, but if we can do the damage, that might be good enough to do everything else, especially if there's an annoying creature on the other side of the board, or several of them, so we'll live with this. Artifacts wise, we have a lot. Soul Talisman gives us a little bit of ramp that we need. Elixir of Immortality gives us a way to shuffle everything back in. The first bit of equipment, Shadow Spear for the Trample and Lifelink, which is lovely when you equip it to Ruhan. Soul Ring for the ramp. Andril Narsil Reforged. Whenever the creature attacks, put a +1/+1 counter on each creature we control, and if you have the City's Blessing, you get double up on those counters instead. Lovely. Arcane Signet for more ramp. Brotherhood Regalia is also here to give Ruhan Wall 2. We pay 1 to equip it, and then it can't be blocked. So that gives you a big clock for your opponents to get through on. It's a bit more difficult with the Wall 2 as well. Goblin Morningstar, it was just a cheap bit of equipment and way of giving trample to Ruhan if we needed to. If we get the Goblin, oh well, all well and good. Then the medallions are all in to try and cut the cost down a little bit for us. And then Sword of the Animus for the extra basic lands as we attack. Bit more ramp with Talisman of Conviction, Creativity and Progress. Trailblazers Boots, everyone plays non-basic land in Commander. Putting this on Ruhan gives people fits because they still can't block it. I'll cope with that. The other version of the Sword of the Animus is Bitter Thorn. I quite like this as the living weapon, but the equipping 3 and you get to attack and do the whole basic land card into play tapped is fine by me. Forebearer's Blade also makes an appearance, +3/+0, Vigilance and Trample, and whenever the creature dies you get to attach this to another creature we control, so we only pay the equip cost once if we've got a few creatures in play. Haunted Cloak, equipped creature has Vigilance, Trample and Haste. Another one that you can play early in the game and then chuck on Ruhan if you've got a spare bit of mana at some stage to make sure that we can always get in. Loxodon Warhammer, old school, going back to 10th edition here. Equipped creature gets +3/+0 and has lifelink and trample. The Reaver Cleaver gives us trample and treasures. Urabrask's Forge just gives us another attacker that will probably upset people, especially as this builds up the counters. Whisper Silk Cloak makes something unblockable and gives it Shroud. Really nice. Bit awkward if you haven't got any other creatures in play, but putting this on Ruhan to make it unblockable, again, helps things out. Helm of the Host, yeah, no blamer. If you've seen what happens when this goes on Ruhan, you start getting a couple of Ruhan a turn, an extra one. That really does upset people quite quickly. Leyline Axe, I like this card from the brand new set that we've had come in, Foundations. It is a good one. We can just play it for free, equip it for 3, and then hopefully give our creature double strike +1/+1 and trample. Gives people fits when it's on Ruhan, I can tell you that. Likewise, so does Embercleave. I haven't played Embercleave for a long time. Used to play it a lot on Standard. I figured we'll have a home in here for it. And finally, Excalibur is here. Yeah, 12 mana is really expensive from Assassin's Creed. I'm very aware of that. But with all of the historic permanents we've got, with all the artifacts we have in play and the few legendary creatures we've got, we should be able to cut Excalibur's costs down significantly. And doing the +10/+0 and Vigilance, but only put it on legendary creature. Yeah, okay, I'll live with that plan. Sounds good to me. Enchantments, not too many. Prophesidetic Memory, just so we could draw a card and have no maximum hand size. And then if we draw more cards this turn, we can put some +1/+1 counters on target creature you control. There's a lot of people playing extra card draw that triggers, so why not? Let's just have it going, you know. Outlaw's Merriment, just for a little bit of fun at the beginning of our upkeep. We get to have a random creature, which is fine by me again. It's good fun. Comes into play, especially the human rogue. We do that just to ping things, you know. Birds of Paradise, I'm looking at you. And Sunbird's Invocation, whenever you cast a spell from your hand, reveal the top X cards of your library where X is the spell's converted mana cost, and you may cast the converted revealed card without paying its mana cost. Everything else goes on your bottom. It really works really well when you play Excalibur, because even if you get Excalibur out for like 1-2 mana maybe, it's still a 12, so you look at the 12 cards and find the best card out of the top 12, which is just fantastic. And I know it's a long shot, but hey, when it happens, it's going to be good for you. Not good for everyone else, but good for you. Lands, red, white and blue lands all the way through. Arena of Glory's here because everyone keeps telling me it's good. I'm still not convinced, but hey, we'll try it out and see what happens. It does give us a way of paying the extra mana for Ruhan to give them haste, so might have a home here more than anywhere else. Each of the castles are in, and the usual things. I will say I have got Field of the Dead in here. Field of the Dead always seems more appropriate to me in 3-colour decks nowadays, so you'll probably see a bit more in any other 3-colour decks than you do normally from me. Sack lands are in, and Fomori and Vault. I mean, we are playing Ruhan for the Fomoria, so we might as well have the Vault in here as well. Discard a card, look at the top X cards of your library, where X is the number of artifacts we control. 1 in a hand, the rest on the bottom of our library in a random order. Gives us another way of getting things out, and because we do have sort of like 27 artifacts in the deck, should trigger quite happily. Beyond that, Homeward Path, in case anyone nicks our creatures, they're in. Inventor's Fair for a little bit of life gain with the amount of artifacts we got. 11 basics, the Triomes here, Reliquary Towers here, Temple of the False Gods here, and everything else is what you'd expect to see in a red, white and blue deck. But that's it. That's my take on Ruhan. I think it's fun. It's a bit of a definitely a random commander. I don't think I've seen any other one talk about Ruhan for a long time. I did a quick search on YouTube, and I'll be honest, couldn't find anyone who'd done it, so I'm hoping this one's a bit more enjoyable than usual. If you can, subscribe down below, help me out. 569 as we record this video today, and 259 over on Twitch, so if you want to see me play Ruhan, please feel free to subscribe, come and follow me on Twitch, and yeah, I'll be back tomorrow with, well, not so much of a, well, it is a random deck, but it's a new one. So for now, take care, come back tomorrow and watch tomorrow's video. Have a nice day. Bye.